actually had the opportunity to mention that our farmers were really suffering from the drought. And James Redgrave and Tony Hine, who you'll get to meet soon, they immediately got onto the phone and spoke with Rod Batchelor, who was our past district governor, and he's done an enormous amount of work with James and Tony to get the Tasmanian side of things happening. At the same time, Graham Cockrell was talking with Linda Payne, particularly about our past support of the need for feed. So it was just all came together, and I came back straight after the election, and Linda and I have been working flat chat since that day. It's been an enormous privilege. I must say that it's also been a great relief that we were able to hand over the allocation and distribution to our local King Island drought coordinators, Deb, Steph and Abby. Enormous relief. So we're very, and today they have proved their worth. There's so much been happening in that space, so we're just so grateful, particularly me, for their support. So my task this evening is actually to thank all our amazing community for the support they've given in our endeavours. So tonight's event, I'd like to thank our local Lions members and volunteers, Guy, Layla, Audrey, who tells me it's her first time serving drinks, and Jessica and Shane. So we'd also like to thank particularly Greenhams, who provided our steak this evening, and Need for Feed for their wonderful support with drinks and the rest of the food. We've also had King Island Council, the King Island Race Club, the King Island Fireys, the Hydro, King Island Distillery with their fire pits, King Island Brewhouse, the North Football Club for the well-needed gas fires, and our photographer Michael. So just to let you know too that the money from the bar tonight is going to go to our community care fund, so that we can continue to give back to the community. Throughout the this has been, the Need for Feed thing on King Island's been like a campaign too. It wasn't quite like my 5-week swimming, but we've had enormous support with Tasports, their stevedores and office staff, King Island Stock Feeds, the storage and distribution, Mackenzie agencies, individuals such as Andrew Morris, who helped us decant, and a few of us were doing it by bucket in early days, but we'd like to thank John Morrick and Jim Cooper, I hope he's still here, for their offer of support that helped us a great deal in expediting that. Heyday, we had G6 Medals, Chris Crouch and the team, Colin Davis and Lloyd Barnett, the phone call team, all the truck drivers, 12 of them, the Grassy Boat Club, the King Island Ambulance volunteers, Tasmania Police, all the catering volunteers, Whyalla for the storage, and particularly Greg Morris for all the work that he has done with storage distribution and organising Kerfab and the tyres and things. Campbell Keeler. Then we had Lick Block, that was Heyday, and then we had Lick Block Day as well. So Elders and Olsons were a great support there. And now we have some molasses from Hayfield Lions. So and there's also been a number of people who have donated to our community care fund, particularly the King Island Senior Citizens and our pre-loved art auction. So pretty well all and sundry. This point, we would like to also thank our media. Special mention to Wade and Jan for all their work. And we'd like Wade to come up because we have a special presentation for him. He hates coming up and having his...
Well, why do we?
I continually do this.
Okay. We can't go to Officeworks and get those lovely big cheques that everybody seems to have printed, so we just made our own. So this is a cheque to King Island Radio and TV for $1,000 from the Lions Club.
Thank you.
the real ones on the back. It's nowhere near enough. We need everybody to support Wade and the King Island Radio and TV, because otherwise they'll go out of business. So if you can possibly help, keep them broadcasting, because what Wade has done for the Lions organisation over the last few months is enormous. He didn't charge a cent. He's made advertisements, commercials, docos, whatever. So Wade, $1,000. We hope it keeps you on the air for quite a while.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Can I do a speech now? Thank you.
So I'd now like to introduce you to Tony Hine. Now Tony Hine is my mother's cousin, so when we were on the road, he was actually my campaign advisor. So on the road he'd tell everyone, as his second cousin. But he is actually a very community-minded person. He's on lots of committees and things in Circular Head, and with the Smithton Lions, and obviously, as I said, part of that crew that got the ball rolling from the Tasmanian Lions. So we'll welcome Tony and Linda.
Thanks, Serena, and talk about she said I got a few hats on, but I vividly recall coming over with a group of Smithton Lions Club to the King Island 50th anniversary, and who should be president at the time was Serena, and I hadn't had a great deal to do with Serena, because every time they went on holidays they'd go to the mainland rather than to come over to the best island below, and so but from that time onward we've sort of kept in touch and etc. But the thing that really struck me at that particular function was they started to present Serena with a hat for every organisation she was involved with, and I think she finished up with about 10 different hats, and so it reminded me of her grandmother and the genes that those sort of people instilled in people, and the DNA of those, and I guess I got a little bit of that as well down the track. So it's my pleasure to be here and represent Rob Batchelor, past district Rob Batchelor. As Serena said, it sort of started off. I've had a bit to do with hay drives before, really, and the major one before that. If Warren's here somewhere, I think I've seen him here somewhere. Thanks, Warren, for your involvement with getting hay from Stanley to Eden in the 2019-20 Black Summer bushfires around the Eden Bega area. So that experience of getting it out there sort of, I guess, started the ball rolling, thinking what can we do for King Island, and as Serena said, our Lions Club invited both Serena and James along to a meeting, because we as a Lions Club we can't be, we've got to be apolitical, and so we invited someone from each party along to as a presentation. That's where it all started. So Rob and James took it on board. The last 3 months, as far as Rob's concerned, and a little bit about Rob Batchelor. He's heads up the Batchelor Construction Company in Hobart, and which is quite a big holding in Burnie as well. And so, but really, it was 3 months. Took 3 months out of his time schedule, really, and devoted into that. So a big hand, I think, for Rob and James. And James Redgrave heads up the Lions disaster relief for Tasmania, and year after next he'll be District Governor of Tassie. So look, thanks. From that point of view, we've got some awards to hand out and so on, so I'll hand over to Linda, and we'll do the presentation from there. Thank you.
Okay. $55,000 worth of Lions Club Tasmania support. Thank you very much, Tasbulk, Highland Haulage, Tasmanian Cargo Services, Bachelor Constructions Group, Clark Transport, Tasmanian Stockfeed Services, Bass Island Line, Tasports, Eastern Line Shipping, Warren Dick. Can you come forward, please?
Warren, would you?
Yeah, go on, here you go.
Would you please accept this on behalf of the Tasmanian Lions as a token of appreciation of the work you've done? Warren was, and Serena and myself were in a vehicle when this all first started, and we rang Warren up and said, you know, what can we do, etc., etc. And from that point onwards, Warren's been heavily involved, and thank you, Warren, on behalf of King Island farmers and Tasmanian in general. And from the other point of view of not only carting the hay, for those people that don't really sort of get that too involved, a normal year for carting cattle off King Island is about 20,000 a year. In 9 months, Eastern Shipping Line carted off the island 27,500 cattle. So that's a 37.5% increase, and so thank you, Warren, for all that and for all you've done for that team. Thank you.
Go to Eastern Line crew. You can give that to Warren as well. Warren,
Yep.
just there's
And
another
your
one
crew,
here.
Bring all your crew up. Well, same goes for the crew. Thank them for all, and I was down. Serena and I went down and had a look at the boat today, and heaven forbid the bales are hanging off the side. And by God, I wouldn't like to be on that boat yesterday. And so you've got a bit of a tangle to undo and so on, but I'm sure it'll work all out in the finish. Thank you. So thank the crew as well on behalf of the club. Thank you.
Lots of hay donated by the Lions Club of Forth, the Lions Club of Smithton, the Lions Club of Westbury. We had 3 people from Disaster Relief Australia come over and help the community do some jobs in a very tough week. Thank you, Bill Oosting, Monica and Richard Midap. Now, Tas farmers, we couldn't have done what we've done on the island with this hay coordination without the lovely Deb Delaney, Steph Ellis and Abby Lewis. If Steph and Deb could come forward, please. We know Deb's not here, but Steph and Abby, please. Can you come forward? A little something from the Tasmanian Lions.
Thank you, Linda. And Linda mentioned a couple of Lions Club. In total, there were 22 Lions Club from Tasmania contributed to part of that 52,000 that Linda talked about. And so that in itself is a major assistance and so on. And that actually, part of the number of bales that Tasmania produced that Rob organised, I think it was about 270 odd bales, and there was 53 tonnes of pellets which were purchased out of some of that 53,000 and so on. So that's where some of those dollars were spent. So Stephanie, thank you. Would you please accept that on behalf of
Can Graham Cockrell and the Need for Feed team come forward, please? Oh, okay. Yeah, just before they do, we just have to actually thank ourselves. Sorry, but there's a certificate with Serena with your name on it. And I think there's one with my name on it under there. We'll just take those. Thank you very much. We'll just tuck those away. Thank you very much. Right, done. Next. Oh, I think I've got to introduce somebody. In every Lions Club, there's somebody who has... Oh, we're going to do the Need for Feed ones first to the truckies. Okay, truckies, goodness me, now you know what shipping is like on King Island. We've just got a little gift for all of you truckies that braved Bass Strait in the roaring 40s. We do appreciate it. There's a little gift there from Lions to say thank you very much for making the effort. You'll have wonderful stories to tell your grandchildren now, because Wasn't easy, was it? Wasn't easy. Thank you very much. And in every organisation there's one person that kind of has an idea and they start off something very, very small, and that person in need for feed was Graham Cockrell. He had an idea to go and support the East Gippsland fire affected farmers. He took one little truckload of hay all on his own and delivered to a very needy area. And from that one little truckload of hay, a magnificent organisation called Need for Feed was formed. And Need for Feed has given King Island about $500,000 worth of support, which hasn't finished yet. We are eternally grateful. Graham, if you could come forward, please. They tell us you're a bit of a rogue, so we've just got this really good present for you. You're full of spirit, and so is this present. It's a little Ned Kelly. It's called Ned Kelpie, and it's a King Island, made of King Island kelp. He's got a little Ned Kelly hat. It's Ned Kelpie, and he's full of spirit. You can actually drink that. It won't kill you. It's really good. You probably should have had it on the boat with you, but a lot of people tell me you're a bit of a rogue, and Ned Kelly's a little bit of a rogue, so we would like to present you with that one specially for you. Thank you so much.
It's only if it's rumour that we like to drink.
And there's a certificate from Lions, certificate, they're just a piece of paper covered in plastic, and they just don't say enough. They don't say enough how grateful these people, these farmers are here, and they'll be turning up tomorrow to get their hay, and, we're just overwhelmed. Thank you so much. Oh, there you go, that one's for you. I think now the microphone is all yours. Is that it? Are we doing, yep, you're next.
Serena's got one for the team.
We've given, they've got their little teamy ones.
No,
okay.
Got a team certificate.
When we turned up here tonight, we got out of the car and we could hear all the chatter and the laughter going on in here, and it's great just to see a community that's been doing it tough out here together, mixing with each other and enjoying themselves. If I could just spend a couple of minutes, they told me I've got 10, but I promise I won't talk for that long. Just to tell you a little bit more about Need for Feed. So, Linda's absolutely right. Back in 2006, we were in the middle of what became known as the Millennium Drought. So at that time, the driest period on record in at least Eastern Australia, and also at that time, reportedly in the media, 3 farmers per week around Australia taking their own lives, and many others walking off the land. I'm a farmer's son from way back, and I lost my farming father to suicide when I was a boy, and back then mental health and suicide in particular were taboo subjects, and they weren't really spoken about at all. Need for Feed has been going since 2006, and we are coming up to our 18th year. If I could just ask Wade, we're just going to share you a quick little video, or fairly quick little video, that was made for our 15th anniversary, and just don't go away too far, and then we'll do some presentations. Thank you.
From the dream time, from the dusty red soil plains, I am an ancient heart, the keeper of the flames. I stood upon this rocky shore and watched the tall ships come. For 40,000 years I've been the first Australian.
I could just pay tribute to our team again. We're an organisation, we're all volunteers. There's a couple of big farm charities in Australia. We're considered to be one of the top 3 or 4. The only one managed by volunteers. It's something we're very proud of, and also very proud, like these guys will deliver help and hope wherever it's needed, driving through snow to deliver to bushfire areas, and driving through fire areas while they're still burning. They just love what we do and getting out there and helping people. There was a couple of little things in that video. I don't know whether you noticed. There was a picture of the toll boat with Tassie hay trucks heading north for the drought back in 2018, I think that was. And there was also the King Island hay heading to Welshpool there on the Eastern Line boat. We got some thank yous to say, and we wrote a report fairly recently and went out to all Lions clubs in Australia, and part of that report we said that it took a whole Australian community commitment at all levels to make this happen. This was these deliveries to King Island. So firstly, obviously we had need for feed, but we also had a local Lions club in their community. So could we have King Island Lions up here in particular?
Can we have all King Island Lions volunteers up here, please? This is for everyone.
We've had these certificates made up especially for this occasion, and you'll see on there the big reddy-orange boat in the middle with all the hay on it. There's also, if you get a chance to have a look at it, to follow it around, there's the hay getting loaded on the Statesman 4 years ago, coming off the other end at Port Welshpool. And there's the whole story around there for the last hay run, and going back up that way to happy farmers and happy cows. So 4 years ago, when our association began with King Island Lions, it was help going back the other way, and that was kicked off by one of your local farmers. So could I have Greg Morris come up here, please? So as far as we know, what happened back then is that the local farmers were asked to contribute some bales to the campaign to help farmers over on the mainland who had been burnt out in the Black Summer fires. And you came up with 700 bales. So, which was, kicked off by Greg and coordinated by the Lions Club. So. Then we had a statewide Lions District T1 get involved, and could I ask Tony's representing Rob Batchelor and Tassie Lions tonight? So Tony, could you take that back to the Cabinet meeting and present it?
With pleasure. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for all your help.
There's one for Rob as well.
Oh, thank you.
Fairly early in the piece we had local government get involved, as in the King Island Council. So could I ask Mayor Marcus is here somewhere? Saw him just before. Come up, please.
Thank you very much. Unexpected surprise.
If you could hang that up somewhere in the council.
Absolutely. We will do. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
And there's one for you as well.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much.
Hang on, I think Kelly wants to get a photo. Better hide my bit of paper.
Unexpected surprise. Thank you very much.
So, we know that your council went into bat for us when we were trying to get the hay out of Apollo Bay, which probably would have saved a whole lot of money. But anyway, that's another story. We had a statewide industry lobby group, which was Tas Farmers, also get involved. But Tas Farmers, most importantly to us, seconded staff to help with the distribution process. So could we have Steph and Abby up here? Deb's obviously away. Please. Where would this whole show be without private enterprise stepping in to rescue the situation? When we couldn't ship our hay out of Apollo Bay, we were faced with a potential freight bill of around about $170,000 to shift what we wanted to bring over here, partly because it was going further, and also because if we got somebody else to do it, it would have been about 3 boatloads. So we managed to get most of it onto one the first time round. And so could I ask Warren, Dick, to come up? So Warren, very early in the piece, once he heard about us having trouble getting our shipment out of Apollo Bay, stepped in and offered to do it at cost. So that's, a very generous offer, and he came through with it, and again for this trip too. So that's we can't thank you enough. One for the office wall there, with the big red boat in the middle, and one for you. Just before the last trip, too, after a bit of lobbying from you, this community's got some great local representatives, and could I acknowledge there's one here tonight, Ruth Forrest. Ruth's your independent MLC for this area. We've also had Janie Finlay, Anne Urquhart going to bat for us with the federal government, and obviously the state government itself came through before the last shipment to cover Warren's cost, which means that we could then put that money into helping other people. And just in the last week, it's been announced again that they will cover the cost of this one as well. So we've got a certificate. Have we got anybody here that can represent the state government tonight? Not really? Well, make sure they get it.
I'll hand it over to them.
So, in particular, for you guys, the Department of State Growth has been really easy to deal with. We find governments around Australia sometimes very difficult to deal with. That they have really been fantastic, pointed us in the right direction, and have made life really easy for us.
I'm not the government.
But
But by the powers, I have a pain in the neck to them. So I will accept it, and I'll make sure it gets to the right people.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks. I'd want to thank you for the work that you've done, you guys, and they have had plenty of phone calls from me on this. Yeah. So.
Yeah. In particular, if you get to deal with him, you know him, James Verrier has been just been very, very, very helpful.
Yeah. But thank you so much for what you've done for this island. Yeah, I mean, it's so important to the mental health and wellbeing of our people on this island, and who I care very deeply about and will continue to fight for. But thank you to the Lions and to Need for Feed, because we've got your back. I've got your back, and I'll never give up on you. So, and thanks to you guys who came on the boat. You couldn't have paid me enough to get on there with you. Just saying. So, but thank you so much. I'll give it to you.
We've had port authorities in 2 states waive wharfage and stevedoring fees. We made a presentation on the way over here to Gippsland Ports, and I don't know whether we've got anybody here tonight from Tas Ports, but we've got a certificate for them to hang up on the wall. If we don't have one, maybe we'll give it to them tomorrow when we're down there rescuing our trucks. We do? All right. We have mentioned the state and federal politicians lobbying on our behalf, and we also had an announcement in the last week that the federal government is coming good with the freight equalisation scheme. So hopefully we can work out how that works, and a bit more money in our bank just means that we can help other people. If I could just finish with one thing tonight, and that's, I started with talking about the laughter and the chatter that we could hear when we got out of the car. Need for Feed was founded on a desire to do something about the mental health and the well-being of our farmers. Quite often farmers are out working on their own all day and, don't get to mix with each other necessarily. They're too busy keeping things running, fixing things, whatever it takes to keep things ticking over on the farm. But it is really important that you have each other's back and look out for each other. And we see ourselves as playing that little part in making sure that farmers around the country, when they're in trouble, when they need help, that we can turn up and let them know that somebody cares. So to us, that's what it's all about. And we refuse to let that little piece of water between us and you beat us, all right? Thanks everybody for coming along tonight. Oh, sorry. I've forgotten somebody. Is there somebody here from biosecurity? No, I'll tell you what, probably to you guys they're a pain. And seriously, when we raised the idea of bringing hay to King Island, part of Tassie, people basically said, don't bother, it's too hard. So that's not an answer that we usually take. We've done lots of things that are too hard. But really, if you jump through the hoops and jump through properly, it's really not that hard. And they have been, to us anyway, they have been really very helpful. There are a lot of hoops to jump through. Some of them don't make sense, like sending back permits to somebody who sent them to you in the first place. But anyway, I'm still scratching my head about that one. But the people that we've dealt with in person have been really very helpful. And if there's nobody here to represent them tonight, we'll make sure they get it tomorrow.
I'll give it to them in biosecurity. I mean, they work really hard. Can I just defend Biosecurity Tasmania?
Oh, no, you can't have those ones. Hang on. Where's the biosecurity one? Sorry.
Biosecurity Tasmania do have a really important job to do for the state. I know dealing with the bureaucracy can be a pain in the arse, let's be frank about it. But they do a really important job in protecting our state. So I will make sure that the head of biosecurity gets this. They do take the biosecurity of our beautiful state very seriously. And it's good to hear, Graham, that you say that when you actually can get to the right people, you can get the right answers. So thank you for persisting, because without you persisting, we may not have got the feed to this island that we absolutely desperately needed. So thank you. And I'll make sure it gets to the right people. So thank you. Thanks for persisting.
So we've got one more to do. There's a guy that got involved very early in the piece, and he wanted to know, he asked a whole heap of questions and wanted to know a whole heap of things. Then he started making a documentary about what we're doing. And he also made an ad, which is still turning over the numbers, Wade tells me tonight. It's made an ad for Need for Feed, which obviously we haven't had to pay for. It's pinned to the top of our Facebook page, and it's still bringing the dollars in. People are still viewing it. You've done a great job, Wade, and again here tonight. Would you come up, please? And Jan's here too. Can you get off the end of that thing for a minute? Will it do itself? Will it do itself?
You can.
There's one for you in. Sorry, there's one for you in particular.
Oh, all right.
And one for King Long on the radio and TV. Thanks, guys. Come on.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I think one of the reasons, folks, why I think we also helped from King Island Radio and King Island TV with Need for Feed and within our simple little ways what we can do, I think it shows so much also here on King Island. Where would this world and even governments, where would you be without volunteers? So clap for yourself, because you're all volunteers.
So I promise you this is the absolute last. Could we have King Island Lions back up here, please? This, they have, when I usually struggle undoing those clips, they reckon it's easier than undoing bra straps, so. So this flag was made for our 15th anniversary. We're coming up 18 years. Oh, sorry. To us, the picture on there, quite an iconic photo of, it's really not the Australian outback, and that's pretty much what King Island looked like a few months ago before it started raining. But that's actually our trucks winding their way through the countryside on their way to the Bega Valley bushfires. So for those who know that road, that's between Cooma and Nimidabel. But that was actually taken during COVID, and not even that stopped us. People needed help, we went. So thank you everybody for your attention tonight, and thanks to those for coming along. And if you fly the flag.
Thanks everybody for your attention. I just have a really, really important presentation, and this is special recognition for Graham from Rob Batchelor, who is the past district governor, and it's a medal of appreciation. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.
You make us all very proud. It's really, really awesome. Thank you.
Good on you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly's taking a photo.
Here's a little box that it comes in.
Thank you.
Enjoy it.
Very good.
We have one other request. We're going to do a lucky door prize, but I would also like to recognise all the truckies, and we just had Graham Cockrell up on the stage, and I would like to invite Graham Trouty, to come up and say g'day, just so that people can put a face to a name. One of the truckies, Trouty. Thank you so much. Love your work. Is there anything you want to say?
Not really. Not much for words, but I met Heidi up in Darwin and Linda and that, and got along ever since. And I'm glad to be here and to help.
Thank you so much.
for the other truck drivers and that.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Mark Tuckerman up to the stage, please. And the rest of you can start making your way forward, please. Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, and would you like to say something to the King Islanders that you're delivering hay to?
Lost for words.
Lost for words? Yep.
Yeah, look, there's a fair bit of gone into what we've done, and yeah, we just, I don't know. Thanks for letting us do it for you guys. I hope it all helps.
Sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No worries.
And don't be a stranger, say hello to these truckies. Yeah. I'd like to invite up Andrew Lineham, please. Thank you so much, Andrew. Would you like to say something to the
Something to the...
King Island crowd?
What would I say? Thanks for everything tonight, good feed and all that sort of stuff. For me personally, doing these things it's mainly about the fun, catching up with a bunch of idiots that we try to drive around with a bit. So yeah, it's good fun. So thank you.
Cheers. Thanks so much. I'd like to call up, please, Terry Coonan. Thank you, Terry. Oh. Cheers from Terry. Go and say good day and share a beer with him later. I'd like to call up Tony Fruits, please. Is Tony here? Okay, Tony's on the phone. We'll get him later. Sean O'Connell. Is Sean able to come up? Special thank you. Thanks very much, Sean.
Thank
Would
you.
you like to
Thanks
share a
very
few words? Or?
No.
No? Okay. We have John Sultan. Would John Sultan like to come up? Thank you so much, John.
Thanks very much.
Surely you've got a couple of words to share with us.
But good to help us all.
Thanks very much. And we also have Kelly, Deputy Chair of Need for Feed and President of Victoria Need for Feed Lions Club. And come on up. And we've got 3 partners as well that are here. You've all travelled a long way. You going to support Kelly on this one? Okay. You're all going to come up. You've all travelled a long way to support everyone. Thank you very much. We've got Tony? Tony?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Would you like to say anything?
Thank you for the wonderful do you've put on tonight. You've made us real proud to be here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, don't get it.
And I just want to finish up and say we love to live where we give. No, give where we live. And I think this year's at its extreme, and I think you should all be proud, and it's all pretty amazing. Lions Club is celebrating 55 years this year, and we'd like to see our membership grow to 55 members, so we can see more people do more of what we are doing, just giving and feeding and all the friendship and keep in contact and keep staying strong, King Island.